all the glory. I want to get on here real quick because it's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to those who are fathers, who are father figures, who maybe don't have their fathers, maybe never had their fathers. I wanted to get on here because the real message today at church was about the unpredictability of life and all these beautiful things and how God has a plan and everything. But there's something about a father wound that affects men and women in so many different ways. For obviously my experience, um, not having a protector, a provider, helped me understand that my vulnerability or my refusal of being vulnerable was because I wasn't having a relationship in my life where I could model that, where I could say, well, my dad was always there for me. Well, my dad protected me. Well, this is what love looks like. This is what consistency looks like. This is what accountability looks like. And that comes with the whole bag of problems, right? Because then you start to try to figure out what love is. And if you're yearning for that protection, that provision, that vulnerability, that accountability, you're going to find pockets of it in other people, but it's going to come with other things. So there's nothing like a father's love, just like there's nothing like a mother's love. So when you carry around this father wound with you and you don't address it, you start to try to fill this dad size hole with people, addictions, your career, your identity, whatever it is. And luckily, through Christ, I've been able to bring that pain to him, and he's been able to reparent me. And he's still not done, He's been able to reparent me in so many ways. But another side of this father wound that I'm seeing is when men don't have a father and what that does to them. And obviously, for women, children of single parents, usually you're with your mom. And if you're a girl and you're with your mom, then you learn how to be a woman because you're watching your mom. But imagine a little boy who's with a mom all the time and doesn't have healthy role models around, and what that does to them, and trying to figure out being a man. Like, being a girl is wonderful. I have nothing but good things to say about that. But I can't imagine being a boy. I can't imagine being an adolescent and trying to figure things out as a boy and having peer pressure, and your friends are into things, and what about your body, and what if you're not tall, God forbid, or if you have acne, or I don't know what boys go through. I have no idea what boys go through. And even young adults who are trying to figure it out, like, what about college? What should I do? And if you don't have a dad or a role model to help you, I don't even know what that's like, because as a woman, I'm looking to a man to guide and lead. I would like that. I would like a man that I can say, well, he has a plan and we're gonna stick with that plan. But imagine a boy, a man who doesn't have a man in his life to help him figure that out. I mean, I can't imagine what that's like. And then I look at the world and what it requires of men, and it's a lot of self-destructive things. It's grind, it's work hard, and work on your fitness so that you are attractive, and sleep with as many women as possible, and don't get too attached, don't be vulnerable, don't cry, don't show weakness. And there's so many don'ts. When for women, it's, be your most authentic self, and women check up on each other, and we cheerlead each other, and hi, how you doing, and there's always someone uplifting, yes queen, but men don't have that. I don't see that really. I see circles of men, obviously in church, right? But let's say if you're not in church, obviously. Um, Sports brings men together, right? Sports events, but there's no like real conversation that I've seen at these things. Obviously everyone's watching the game, and so I wonder. where is the support for the men? How do men support each other? How do men keep each other accountable? How do you, as a man, have a circle, friends around you who say, you know what, maybe that's not the best thing. Or, you know what, I see this for you. Because women do that all the time. We're like, oh, I can see this. I can see you doing that. You're so good at this. You're so good at that. And I don't hear those conversations with men all the time. And so this Father's Day is a little different. I'm not really mourning the dad that I never had, or that my dad passed or anything like that. I'm not mourning that. I'm really mourning the dad that men never had, because ultimately I had my mom, thank God. And I had women who were supportive of me constantly. I mean, women won't let you, I mean, women will bandwagon you, even if it's a bad idea. Women are like, yes. But I'm really feeling that absence of a dad when it comes to a little boy needing to know what to do as a man. How does that happen? And I pray for men. I don't think it's easy being a man out here, carrying all of this pressure. You got to make this certain amount of money, you got to look a certain way. God forbid you're not tall, or God forbid you're not confident, or you're someone who lives under really terrible circumstances and is trying his best to just figure things out. I feel for those men who are really lost. I know men in their 40s, in their 30s, that still have no idea, what it is that's required of them, what their purpose is. They're just doing, they're just, well, I have a kid and I have to do this and I have a mortgage and I have to pay it, and but there's no like purpose to them existing aside from what they can provide. And that makes me really sad for men. Um, I think that being a man could be very lonely if you don't have a support system, if you don't have a dad, an uncle, a grandfather, brothers, a circle of men who are focused on trying to be a better version of themselves every day, who are striving to figure out what it is that I have for myself, not just to offer other people, but for myself. Why am I here? All this purpose. And I feel for them so much, because even as a woman, um, and obviously you're in a relationship with a man, there are some wounds that love of a woman is never gonna fill. Like, I'm never gonna be someone's dad, and I don't want to be their mom either, right? You kind of lose respect for your partner when they start feeling like a child. So I just pray for men out there, men who don't have dads, who maybe never even met their dad, or who only had, misogynist men around them telling them terrible advice, and men who fall into depression and loneliness because they have nobody to talk to and no safe place to vent without feeling like it's going to be dangerous to be vulnerable. Seeing a woman cry is like no big deal, but seeing a man cry is like, oh my, oh no. So I pray for them. I feel for them. I feel for men everywhere. So yeah, if you're a man and you're wondering what it is your purpose is, or why you're here, it's not just for what you can provide. It's not just for protection or your paycheck or if you have a house or a car. There's just so much more to you than those things. They're just things. So yeah, I hope this blesses someone. If you're struggling with depression or even a sense of identity or purpose, look to Jesus. Look to Jesus. He can do anything. He is our heavenly Father. I know that the relationships in our lives can get in the way of the relationship we have with God, but even in your skepticism, I pray that you ask. And I don't mean like you have to go to church and you have to do this huge declaration. I just mean like in a quiet space, just ask, like, why am I here, God? Like, why was I created? What is my purpose? And Jesus is faithful to respond. So yeah, I was blessed. Someone, Jesus loves you. Happy Father.